What's going on?
What's happening? Just hanging out, man.
That's it, man. Are you getting ready for the next snow jam?
Yeah. I just saw that this afternoon driving home. I was like, damn it. I really don't need that this next weekend.
Well, let's just wait and see what happens.
All right.
Real fast before we get too far off in the weeds, just to get rid of some boilerplate shit here. Anything we say on here is for entertainment purposes only. We are just a couple of like-minded patriots discussing shit that's on our mind. If you don't agree with it, that's cool. As I said, we're not here trying to sow misinformation or government unrest or anarchy or any other bullshit, civil disobedience. We're just here having a conversation and having a good time. If we offend you, you apparently clicked on the wrong fucking link. I don't know if they still show Barney, but I'm sure you can go look for him. And that being said, deuces.
Right.
Also, I'd like to shout out to Vanguard. Thank you again, brother, for making all this possible. I know you're off doing your own thing. You got shit to take care of, but we appreciate you being able to make this possible for everybody. I know we don't say it enough, and I just want to say, thank you again.
Very good. Thank you.
All right. So tonight's title is Fire and Ice. And no, we're not talking about Game of Thrones. We thought it'd be a good segue to open up tonight talking about, how North Carolina, it's okay for them to be living in tents and shit and freezing. And, but we got to get out there to Bel Air and take care of some shit on the left coast.
Absolutely. I mean, that's where you should focus most of your attention, is out on the West Coast. There's a lot of millionaires and they need our help.
Yeah, the ones that pay their fair share, right?
Exactly.
I mean, I'm quite sure that there's a lot of people out there with burn up Bentleys and,
sorry, Jeff.
their ice cream melted, whatever, the show horses got burned up. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know there's there's going to be a lot of counseling, and people need to be out there to, hold their hands and tell them it's going to be okay. And us little people, we need to take off our table to give to them, because, it really hit them hard.
Nah, that's okay. You know why? Because back in November, not only deplorable, but we were stupid. So,
Yep.
you can take your bent out or your burnt out Bentley, and you can shove that wherever you like. Pick an orifice. Pick an orifice. I don't care.
I mean, why don't you give Oprah a call and see if she can't hook you up with something?
Look under your chair. You
That's
get a
it.
house. You get a house. Now, what I found super interesting, and was the looting that was going on in California. You could track it, or the cops that cared could track it. You had looters coming in literally right behind the people that were packing up their stuff, securing their kids and their pets and getting the heck out of there. And as soon as their trucks would leave, or cars,
Yep.
you'd have, basically a whole band of hood rats coming in and taking shit. And the people like you know, what you'd have on The View would be like, you know what? It's okay because it was going to get burnt anyway. I mean,
Yeah, that's their philosophy until it's their fucking crib that's getting looted.
yeah, exactly.
You know, that it's really funny how they say, well, it's okay, it's insured, but let it be their shit.
Right.
And then the thing that really pisses me off is you've got fucking billionaires or millionaires or whatever out there that are hiring private fire crews to protect the property.
Yeah.
And it's like, so you're basically finding you some fire mercenaries. It's like Blackwater for fires.
Right.
And you're going to have them protect your shit. And you're letting all these people around you, their shit burn up. And you're that fucking materialistic. You deserve to have your shit burned.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because all that shit's insured through the app. I mean, gotta be.
It has to be. I mean, if not through, you know, they're talking about, oh, they, you know, drop fire insurance for blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, if you have had over 30 years of forestry mismanagement in that area,
Mm-hmm.
why would, and generally I'm not on the side of insurance companies, but if you have had 30 years of forestry mismanagement where everybody else in the country goes and they clean their shit, you know, pick up twigs and sticks and trees and do, you know, protective burns and stuff like that, but you don't because you might, you know, kill a, you know, speckled, hairy, fairy-footed faggot thing or something. I'm sorry, but you know what I'm saying. Lizard, yeah. Then you kind of deserve what you get. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I know people that move the fuck out of there because it's so ass backwards. And, you know, they got the hell away, moved to Florida, ironically, and love it. And they didn't move to try and carry their stupidity with them. They moved to escape the stupidity.
Right.
Unlike people in Austin.
Yeah.
So it amazes me that, you know, just like all the money they've been taxing, all this money they were supposed to be building reservoirs, none of it got built.
Right.
And it's like that shitbag they've got for a governor and the mayor, all them fucking people, the biggest bunch of semi-functional idiots I've ever seen in my life, and straight up career politicians. I mean, if I was a native Californian, you wouldn't be able to get into Sacramento without an airlift because we would be marching on that bitch.
Well, did you see the interview? And they were sitting there talking to that one chick, and you know that reporter's like, "Do you want to apologize? Do you want to say anything to?" And she's just staring there like Mitch McConnell when he blew a fuse, you know, and they had to like walk him off the stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's just sitting there staring.
Yeah.
Answer the fucking question.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, you know, don't get me wrong. I hate to see loss of life and property and the magnitude that's going on over there. It's horrible. It looks like they're filming the second Independence Day there. Everything looks like a war zone.
Right.
But the entire situation could have been avoided had you had the right people in place and the right protocols in place and the resources in place. And there's no reason why those things shouldn't be in there. But they were more concerned with DEI, sanctuary cities, and 3 or 4 different sets of rules. And so all this shit has come to a head, and I truly hope that these chickens come home to roost.
Right.
You need to see, it'd be great to see all these people ousted in California and then go red. That would be fucking hysterical.
Oh, yeah. That would be awesome, dude.
But going back to North Carolina, I was watching I don't know where she was at. There was somebody in North Carolina that had been there since all this started. She was supervising one of those organizations that feeds basically the refugees, because that's what they are now.
Mm-hmm.
And she was talking about all the places she was going and how FEMA literally out of all the people she come in contact with, I forget, she said out of the however many hundred people, families she'd met, only like a dozen or so had gotten the $750.
Wow.
Everybody been fucking denied. What the fuck are you going to do with $750 when everything you fucking own is in another fucking time zone downriver?
Yeah, exactly.
What are you going to do with it? Go buy you a 6-pack of damn beer and have a barbecue? Because you ain't going to do much for $750 fucking dollars.
No.
And then you got bed shitter makes the statement when all shit's burning up in California about, well, FEMA will cover, federal government's going to cover the entire cost. What the fuck about damn North Carolina?
Right.
And here's my suspicion. Now, you know me, I like my conspiracy theory hat. I had a special order. You know about the courts in North Carolina and Appalachia. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And you know that by removing the obstacle of these towns, they're free.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
and let's don't forget about the lithium deposits.
Exactly. If you always want to make it unlivable for people, and get them to get the hell out of there, because you want the federal government to come in and swoop down and get a whole bunch of underpriced land. Yeah, it's a great way to do it.
Yep.
Now, what kills me is, we fund, and I know this part is a little off topic, but it ties in. So we fund the Taliban, okay? Still. Yep. I don't know if people know this, but we actually pay a stipend to Talibani terrorists who killed our guys, okay? Yep. We also pay, for their government to run, and we also pay for, what do you call that? Refugee relief inside of Afghanistan. Okay. Now, you're looking at the tune of in the 70 some odd $1 million a week. Yeah. It's a lot of money. So as far as I know, the United States is the only country in the world that says, you know what? We just fought a 20-year war. Let us give you some cash for it. A lot of cash.
Well, didn't we do the same thing to Japan and Germany?
Well, we rebuilt them.
Right. I mean, here maybe I'm missing something in my civics class or social studies or something. Maybe I was sleeping or drawing pictures at that particular time. But I'm sorry, but I'm of the mindset where if you poke a bear and you get your fucking arm bit off, it's not the bear's responsibility to replace your arm.
Right.
You fucked around and found out. So if you decided you wanted to be, the head of the Nazi party and fucking invade free Europe and just fucking take everything over and kill everybody, and then the U.S. said, yeah, no, that's not going to work for us, and we came over and stomped a mud hole in your ass, you did it to yourself.
You did it to yourself.
So why should we be doing anything for you? You wanted to fuck around and find out. You found out. Now you're a third world country. Enjoy.
Right.
Who needs running water?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
I'm just saying. Look. Let me put it to you this way. Now think about this. Reverse the whole thought process. If we got into some kind of fucking altercation, let's say with China or Russia or whatever, and they fuck our grid and put us in the fucking Stone Age, do you think they're gonna be rushing over here to fix all that shit?
Oh, hell no.
They're gonna let us suffer and die, and they'll show up on the 11th hour as our saviors, and all the fucking sheep will be saying, thank you, we'll speak Mandarin.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what'll fucking happen.
So, saying all that, tell me why that the United States government, because the people in power, this regime right now, thinks that you can just print up money and send it all over the fucking world.
Yep.
Why is there anybody in North Carolina, South Carolina, parts of Georgia. Why are they sitting in tents?
There shouldn't be anybody sitting in a tent. Look, brother, there shouldn't be a vet that's homeless. There shouldn't be any storm survivors that are fucking displaced. Every one of them should be with a roof over their head, a meal with their belly, and clothes on their back.
Yep.
Before fucking Ukraine, homosexual goat studies in fucking Bosnia.
Right.
You know, the effects on full moons on fucking pygmies in New Guinea. I don't give a fuck. Stop sending the money to all these goofy ass damn waste. It's got to be money for shit that it's not supposed to be for. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll make up some goofy ass project to throw money at, but it's actually being diverted somewhere else. It's like they're laundering it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Like when they used to be paying fucking $800 for a fucking toilet seat. No,
right.
They weren't. That money was going somewhere else.
Well, all I can say is Monday can't get here fast enough.
Oh, fuck no, it can't. But see, the thing that scares me. Exactly. Tell them, Mama D. The thing that worries me, and forgive me, but I've not had time to do much research on it. I know a lot of other talking heads are bringing up this whole thing about Monday, and it's like people are scared for Monday. Patriots are scared because they're not taking the precautions, or we don't see security being ramped up for the inauguration. Where, you know,
well, I'm hoping that I am hoping that, you know, behind the scenes, you know, after 2 assassination attempts,
right?
Excuse me, that you don't necessarily have to have a huge show of force. You just have to have a whole lot of people out there in the crowd.
Right.
One would think, if you know, one was a thinking person, that they would, you know, be covering this pretty good. I don't know, like, but yeah, I'm with you. I mean, you know, do you want a huge show of force, or and it backfire and it look like, you know, you're Il Duce, or do you want, you know, competent people out there, ready and waiting to go, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, it's interesting what Mama D is saying about the fuel and the gas break. I was wondering why the fuel had gone up so much here. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I mean, so yes, and I mean, it's gone up. I mean, it went up today. I got gas actually for like 260 something though. So it goes up and down and up and down. But what were you thinking?
Well, they're saying that there's possibly like, here's one thing: the Colonial Pipeline's reporting a leak in Paulding County. That's in Georgia.
Right.
Well, if they shut down that pipeline, that means that's going to affect the entire Southeast. You know that, right?
Oh yeah.
And you think back. Well, you weren't living in Atlanta back then, but back when Latrina hit Louisiana,
Mm-hmm.
they had to shut down the pipeline from the Gulf. Okay.
All right.
It got so bad in the Atlanta area that you could ride around for hours trying to find a gas truck.
Wow.
Now, this was in the 2000s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
And that was just one example. I mean, it made all the fuel prices go up. The only fuel you could find in some places was super unleaded. That's provided they had fuel.
Right.
It was insane. And I didn't even realize there was a leak in the gas. I didn't even realize they shut down the pump. I mean, the gas lines. And Mama Dina said something. He looked it up because I was wondering why the hell it's so high this afternoon while I was out riding around. But there's just so many things that between, I guess what I'm thinking about is I'm thinking about the 20th is right on our doorstep, and there's so much shit. I'm afraid something's gonna pop off. I don't know what, don't know how, but I'm afraid something's gonna happen somewhere, and they don't want. The world has already shown that they know when Trump gets in office, all this fuckery they've been getting away with stops. It's streaking to a halt. Look at Gaza. Hamas said, we're going to do a barbecue. We're good, deuces. They know that when Trump gets in office, they keep launching their fucking mortars and shit over into the strip and fucking with Israel. They're going to be introduced to a bunch of fucking tomahawks. They're going to get really intimately familiar with the U.S. military.
Yeah.
I've already said it. And, all these other countries that have been getting away with all this fuckery, and, the current administration has been bending over and giving them whatever they want because we don't have an administration. We have a bunch of fucking puppets and fucking parasites. I mean, you can go back. I mean, look at all the shit we've been doing for fucking Ukraine. We don't need to fuck with Ukraine. Let them motherfuckers collapse. There's nothing in Ukraine. Let Russia have it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not a thing for us. There's nothing over there that they have that we don't have.
Well, they say that Ukraine produces the most, wheat?
Okay.
In the world or something? It's the world's breadbasket or some shit like that. I don't know how true that is.
I thought that was us in Canada.
Well, we live in a country where the government pays farmers not to farm.
Yeah.
So they can manipulate supply and demand.
Okay, well right there is part of your thing then. If you're paying people here and probably not paying them top dollar, you're just paying them, like market price to not produce or to make soybeans or something like that, then and I think that may be lost on a lot of people, but we don't import from them.
No.
As far as I know. I mean,
who knows with this administration?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we launder money over there, but we don't import.
No. I mean, but there's just it. Okay, this all goes back to North Carolina. If we took one of those damn transactions where we gave them so much as all in billions of dollars and equipment, if we just stopped that one time and diverted it to North Carolina, we could have made North Carolina whole.
Yeah.
Made all them people whole. They're still, from what I understand, that one YouTuber or whatever I told you I was watching that had talked to those people, she's running feeding them.
Yeah.
She was saying they're still doing damn recovery of bodies.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Because all that shit that washed downhill or downstream, you got these big clusters of wreckage and everything, and they're still pulling bodies. Yeah. They still got cadaver dogs out there. And you're going to tell me that, oh, we need to get over to California. And again, I'm not saying that California doesn't need to be, doesn't need help, but you don't need to pull from one for the other.
Right. And it does nothing but, that right there, just the optics of that, it creates another huge division.
Sure.
Well,
you saw that FEMA's got some of on their site talking about how it's a rumor and they're not pulling resources, this, that, and other. But how can that be true when the federal government and the bedshitter in chief told them that they need to take care of California and that the Fed will cover the cost?
Right.
Okay, how else does that equate? I mean, I don't know of any other math that works anymore. I mean, it's democratic theology, or it's their philosophy. Just pay for it, and the grandkids can pay for it later.
Yeah, exactly.
That we don't have to worry about budget or anything. We'll just spend money. We can print the shit. So I myself feel like there's a huge disconnect between Washington and the country. Because North Carolina is, and Tennessee and some of the other places, Florida, they're not full of sycophants and fucking bottom feeders. They're all affiliated with DC,
right,
or Hollywood. They don't get the recognition or treatment that, say, Malibu or fucking Hollywood, or wherever these fuckers live, somewhere up in fucking Massachusetts, that it just, it you can't pick and choose disasters.
Right, exactly.
And I'm sorry, but the wealthy will be the last ones on the peg to get the help. I'm not saying that if something tragic happens, and somebody comes in, that's from a fucking mansion and needs help, that's fine. But you don't divert fucking resources because these people are influential or celebrities.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck that. You got entire neighborhoods fucking gone. Towns fucking gone. You still got places where the roads aren't there.
Yeah. And what kills me is, you've got folks in North Carolina that decided, what, if FEMA is not going to come help us, we're just going to do it ourselves. And it's almost like they've done better doing it themselves than the federal government has.
Well, but is that really surprising?
No, it's not surprising.
It's unfortunate because,
yeah, exactly.
If you're here, why are you paying federal taxes? If when the federal government's supposed to step up and do their fucking job and they don't.
Well, that's why.
Question: why are you paying taxes?
Yeah, that's why anytime anybody brings up, universal health care or any, something like that in a country with 360 some odd million people, it's like, name a federal agency that does their job and they do it under budget or they do it at budget. Name one.
There isn't one.
There isn't one. You're right. So there you go. That's why in this country you can't have that.
Exactly.
But they will sure as shit send you to jail if you don't pay your taxes, though.
Oh yeah. Let you be one of them sovereign citizen motherfuckers. You're gonna find out.
Mm-hmm.
Back in World War II, when they told us we need to do an income tax and all this other bullshit to fund the war, and it would go away after the war, we really got fucked there.
Oh yeah.
I think the federal government discovered then that, oh shit, these are sheep. We got a damn never-ending faucet. We can just turn this bitch on and just let it run. And I saw an interesting meme today. It showed Mel Gibson from The Patriot. I'm sure all of you've seen the movie. And he's running, got the pistol in his hand or the hatchet, got the flag, and it says, "What Americans did when Britain raised taxes 3%. And then it showed below that some blonde chick sprawled out on her couch with a remote. What Americans do when the federal government taxes them 30%.
Yeah, legs in the air. That's
That's it. So, you know, I'm saying at some point, the American people have got to take responsibility for being a bunch of semi-functional idiots because they've allowed themselves to be put in the position they're in.
right.
I'm guilty of it. You're guilty of it. Everybody here's guilty of it in one way or another. Now, I'm not saying that we knowingly participated, but this is a learned behavior that's been pushed on society by our own government. And what's happened is that it's gone on for so long and has become so, I won't say embedded, but I don't think it's the right word. It's become so, I can't even think of the word for it, that it's so big. How do you combat it? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I do, but without getting, tagged on YouTube, there's a couple of different ways that you could do it, but you also could do it legally if you had, and I don't ever see Trump doing this because, again, like he said during, his debate with Hillary, I use those same loopholes that all your friends do, to pay as low a taxes as I can, because nobody likes paying taxes. Um, but you could, if you were, if you were able to play the long game like our adversaries and get
Right.
enough people in there that were like-minded patriots, um, you could repeal and or change the tax code to where it didn't destroy the middle class.
Right. Sure.
But I just don't see it happening.
No, I don't either because, excuse me, for a couple reasons. You've got too many people now. They've got their hand out, and the government is set it up where they want people to be dependent on them. They want that to be the majority because what will happen is if you've got people that are living off the teat of the government, they're never going to vote the government down.
No.
Because they're getting free shit. So it's very hard to get those people to turn on the hand that's feeding them.
Right.
Now, if they were able to take a step back and look at the bigger picture, they'd see that it's a long con that they've been playing for generations, and that the best thing they could do is that very thing.
Yeah.
The whole thing was a long con put in place to get people to be dependent on the government so they'd always have those votes. So, I just, tell me, do you know anything about this guy they caught setting fires in California?
I saw a picture of it today. But it was a meme. It's a climate change was arrested today for starting fires.
Shit. Damn.
And it just showed the cops sitting there putting handcuffs on him.
Hold on 1 second. Okay. Well, according to this, they've got 2 more arrested in charges in LA amid wildfires. And I've got some mugshots of people too. But then you got the people also getting hit for the burglaries, like we were talking about.
Right.
I mean, I was looking at all these different people, and it's like, they're letting these people come out. It's like we were saying, the bands are coming out and, going in and just looting and everything else. And if I'm not mistaken, at one point, didn't we have some shit like that going on in North Carolina and Tennessee?
I bet you it didn't last very long.
No, because out there, see, in North Carolina and Tennessee, we have a thing called firearms.
Yeah,
and
and
we're allowed to have more than one bullet.
right.
So, dogs got to eat.
This is true. And if you're coming up on my cousin's house or whatever, and the hood rats are out there taking shit, that ain't gonna last very long.
No. But, country folks have a different way of responding to shit like that, in my opinion.
Yep. And rooftop Koreans.
This is true. This is true.
Right.
But yeah, I think folks in Appalachia might see things a tad differently. I know what I'd be doing if it was my damn property and a bunch of people camping there trying to rob it.
Oh yeah, I'd be right there with you.
And we're just going to let the mic drop of that one. You can fill in the blanks.
Right.
And it's just, have you ever been out to California?
No, I've been blessed never to have to go that far.
Okay. I've been out there one time. Now, it's a beautiful state. It truly is. Especially if you can get out away from the blue shitholes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a different culture. And it's a shame that all these leftist policies have turned the state into such a damn quagmire that all this shit has happened. Because it could be a better place. It truly could.
Right.
But because they pander to Hollywood and illegal aliens and every damn thing else, I mean, the whole damn state is just fucked.
Yeah.
And the spotted fucktard salamander. I mean, whatever it is they need to, if there's something to make it harder to live there and tax the shit out of people, they'll be first in line to do it. I mean, I saw something today showing gas prices out there. I think the shit was almost $8 a gallon.
Ooh, damn.
I mean, fucking A, steal a horse.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I don't understand anybody can live out there.
The closest I've ever been was probably back in the 80s watching reruns of the Brady Bunch.
Okay.
When they went through some ghost town there in California, and they had to use their belt to get the key because the old miner locked him in the ghost town jail. And so California looked kind of cool back then. But
yeah. But again, you weren't in the city.
Right.
You weren't in Compton there, buddy. So, but that being said, I mean, again, I'm not trying to make light of the people who've lost things there. I mean, it's been tragic. It has truly been devastating. And, they deserve to be helped. Those that, let me change that. The people there who have lost everything deserve help. That's what the government's supposed to be there for. All right. Government's a fucking racket. It's a Ponzi scheme. Well, not government, but the government is a scheme, but insurance.
Oh yeah.
Insurance is a racket, always has been. But aside from insurance, I mean, if there's state and federal aid available, it should be given to them, but not before the same considerations are given to North Carolina.
Yeah.
Because they're out there fucking freezing. They can't have a weenie roast. Right? They're living in fucking tents, and now they're talking about they're about to lose their vouchers for some of the temporary lodging they've got.
Yeah, bullshit.
Why can't we go? Help me to understand this, Sax, man. Maybe I'm just dumb as hell, but why can't we get a bunch of fucking containers and move the motherfuckers over there into a damn parking lot somewhere and make a little village for them, at least something temporary? I mean, I know it's nothing pretty, but it's some kind of shelter.
Yeah.
I
mean, exactly. I mean, again, you look at what the United States used to be able to do, specifically pointing out stuff in World War II. When we were an industrial nation, we could churn out dozens and dozens of destroyers. We could churn out ships like you'd never seen before. Um, how hard would it be to make, those little tiny houses? It wouldn't be.
No.
Now, um, but you don't have. There's a couple of things that we're fighting against now. This country has no set one goal. We're no longer of a homogenous mind as this is the greatest country in the world. We're going to do everything in our power to protect it.
Nope.
You've got a huge, gap in. Well, fuck it. That's hillbilly Appalachia. We're not going to do anything for them. So yeah, we could do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
America is the greatest in the world at being able to come together and do stuff like that, or we used to be.
Well, between the parasites we've got in the government and the foreign players who have been playing the long game with our society, they've polarized so many factions in our country that I don't know if we're ever going to be able to come together again.
Yeah.
Not on the level we should.
Right.
And, we were a different people during, say, World War II or World War I or even the Korean War. You started seeing things change in Vietnam. When the Vietnam conflict happened, that's when you started seeing the division. And the Vietnam vets, they got fucked.
Yeah.
They either got drafted or they may have enlisted, but they got no parade, got spit on, called baby killers, everything else. And since then, the whole demeanor and the whole way the optics have changed. I mean, have you ever watched Charlie Kirk?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen him when this new batch of fucking college kids gets over arguing with him about shit?
Oh, yeah.
And these are the motherfuckers are going to be our leaders in this country down the road. These fucking idiots. The same people who, like, he had a bunch of girls where he said, give me the definition of a woman. Anybody who identifies as a woman. That's not a fucking answer.
No.
People calling him a fascist because he's just calling out facts. I mean, it's it's like a bunch of spoiled fucking kids that ran out of fucking change and they can't get a fucking slushy at the local pool.
Right.
They're like a bunch of spoiled fucking brats. And these are the motherfuckers that are going to be voting.
Yeah.
And like Jay said, the conservatives can't even get along. He's right. The only party gets along is the fucking Democrats, which that's because they're all fucking parasites for the most part, and they're fucking communists.
Yeah. Well, that right there is your, reason for 90% of this is because you have people that are no longer, capitalist Americans, or freedom-loving Americans. You have fucking communists elected
never to be unelected.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, it's. I truly hope that come the 20th, the golden age is back. I hope that something doesn't kick loose and something happened to our president, something happened, abroad to draw attention away. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if China and Russia are so eager to test the boundaries of the United States once he gets in office.
Yeah.
I think Putin recognizes that Trump's an adversary, but Trump would also be willing to meet him halfway with olive branch.
Yeah.
I don't know what the Chinese think. I would kind of think they think the same thing because, yeah, they've got military and whatnot. But if you ever look at the world's military at the different countries, while China does have a navy and whatnot, their military is not that fucking big.
It's and it's like, you know, everything's from Temu. It's bad. It's a bad ripoff of Western.
I mean, look at the number of ships they have, the number of aircraft, the number of tanks, things of that nature. Yeah, they may have a lot of stuff, but we saw this with Russia when they went into Ukraine. Now, granted, all the fucking news you get from Ukraine, you kind of got to take with a grain of salt because you don't know what's fucking real and what it. But when you're sitting there watching it and seeing the level of uncoordinated shit and how they lost so much equipment and how old some of the equipment was, you know, you can have 1,000 fucking tanks, but if 75% of them are 50 years old, think that shit through.
Yeah, I'd figure if Russia, you know, one of the three superpowers in the world, couldn't have taken Ukraine in a couple of weeks, then something ain't right.
Well, I mean, you got to also take consideration too. The West basically fought a proxy war.
Yeah.
Not just the United States, but Great Britain, France, Germany, all the NATO countries. And I truly believe that part of that's because of all the fuckery that I guess all the fuckery that Ukraine's involved in, how many of these countries are knee deep in it?
Oh, yeah.
Because all Ukraine is a corrupt state that fucking launders money.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And they were trying to play both sides of the fence. And Putin said, you know what? I think I want to restore the USSR to the USSR. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But I just think that, I don't know. I truly hope that when Trump gets in office that we see a lot of this shit go away. I want to see anything for Ukraine stop.
Right.
There shouldn't be another fucking dime sent to them. I would tell Mexico, I'd say you either get your fucking cartels under control or we're going to introduce them intimately with tomahawks. You consider wherever the fuck you want to consider. We will fucking crater anywhere they're located. If you won't fucking handle it, we'll handle it. Make Greenland a state or a U.S. not property, but a what do they call Puerto Rico? It's not a state. It's a
protectorate.
It's not a protectorate. It's something else. Come on, somebody here smarter than me. Tell me what they call it. It's not a protectorate. It's not a state. It's a
tax
territory. Jay got it.
Territory.
There you go, Jay. Got my bacon. That's it.
I was gonna say tax drain, but okay, yeah.
Well, okay, but if we got now, think about this. If we got Greenland and it became a territory, we take back fucking the Panama Canal, which we should never got rid of to begin with. That was fucking dumb as hell.
Right.
Thank you, Jimmy Carter. And if we did that, look at just geographically how much larger our country just became.
Oh yeah.
Now, I'm not saying you go build a bunch of resorts and start moving to Greenland, because I don't know how that works.
It's a great strategic.
Absolutely, it gives us a foothold where China and Russia are already building footholds, trying to dominate the Arctic. I mean, think about this: if we get into a nuclear exchange, those missiles don't come across the Pacific and the fucking Atlantic; they come across the pole.
Yeah,
it's a shorter distance. I mean, it is what it is. And Russia keeps going further and further up into the Arctic Circle, building bases. Well, we should be doing the same fucking thing. We should be able to stand up on the fucking mezzanine of whatever base we got and give a finger to the nearby Russia or Chinese installation.
All right.
And see us. That's how far up we should fucking be. And if we can, I know, is it Denmark that Greenland falls under? I think Danish.
Yeah, I think it's the Danes. Yeah.
Yeah. So therefore, it's not for sale. We never said it was for sale, but they don't have to stay part of your country or be your territory. They can say, "Fuck you." We like the U.S. because they'll bring McDonald's.
Right.
And if they say that, then I mean, I don't know I don't know enough about all that to really say how it would go or could go, but I think it strategically would be awesome.
Yeah.
And personally, I think it'd be kind of cool to go to Greenland, just check it out. Just my 2 cents. And what would be even more fucking hilarious, but I really do not see it happening, is if instead of being the United States of America, we just became North America.
Right.
And like Canada was now part of it. Think of how shit would change. We would literally be the largest country in the world.
And we'd have a really good grain production, oil production,
grain production, timber production, fishing. I mean, anything you fucking, all kinds of mining and everything else. I mean, look at what you would have, the resources you would have. And Canada would be better off because, I mean, they've been under, the Trudeau tard.
Yeah.
And he's done nothing but, be a little tyrant. Let, dry hump and every fucking Chinese official come talk to him.
Right.
So, I mean, just think of how that would impact us as a country to grow like that exponentially. Think of the opportunities for the people of the country.
It would be world changing.
I mean, just think about the job opportunities, think about the cost of things, because if you had access to all that stuff and you were all one big country, you've got the fuel thing taken care of, you've got lumber, lumber is essential for how many fucking things?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying go cut every fucking tree down on the planet, but I'm just saying it would give us so much capability, and we could pretty much, all these countries that have been fucking us. I mean, my philosophy's always been like, we buy all this oil from fucking OPEC and all this shit. And I've had this opinion since the 80s. Every time those motherfuckers raise a barrel of oil, we all raise a fucking bushel of wheat to match it.
Exactly.
You want $90 a barrel? A bushel of wheat just became $90.
Right.
I don't want to tell you, Chief.
Yeah. Try growing it in the desert.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I hear you guys can do some cloud seeding and see how that works for you. Chemtrails. I mean, y'all got enough airlines.
Right.
Get after it.
Yeah, get Emirates after that.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. But I really hate this state, the part of this country's in, going back to the original, premise of North Carolina and California, to see the vast difference. I mean, on one side you got hell and brimstone, fire and brimstone. On the other, you got just
water and ice now. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I mean, you've got opposite ends of the spectrum, but just as deadly for both.
Yeah, and
we should not have our people suffering in any way, such and shape, or form on either coast. Is far along as we are as a nation.
Right.
This should not be happening to its own citizens. It's insane.
It shouldn't be in this country.
No, not at all. And I mean, I don't know, but that's just my 2 cents. Well, I don't want to keep Vanguard on here any longer than we have to. And it's, excuse me, I got a COVID-infected wife to take care of. So I'm going to do my husbandly duties, I guess.
There you go.
But I want to thank everybody for being here. Hope you were entertained, if nothing else. If you haven't checked out Black Scout, go check him out, see what he's talking about. Jay has been on me to watch him, and I apologize. I just have not had time. Maybe this evening I'll get to check him out and see what he's, because I love watching him. And I know Sean Ryan's had some good stuff too. But that being said, thank all of you for being here and tolerating us. We appreciate you coming. And we will be back next week sometime to hopefully celebrate the new golden age of Trump 2.0.
Heck yeah.
So, Sax Man, you got any closing words for him?
Oh, you know what? Oh, don't trust your government. And, in light of some things that have, come across my way in the past couple of weeks, be grateful and tell the people around you that you love them. You never know when you might not get that chance again. So that's what I got, man.
Yes, sir. All good words put out there. I would say pray for your family, pray for your friends, pray for this country, and pray for our inbound Presidente and his cabinet, because things are where I get hairy before they get better. Don't take anything for granted. Sax Man, you know what I'm talking about when I walked into yesterday morning.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Shit can go pear-shaped really fast.
Yeah.
So just keep your head on a swivel, folks. You got some crazy people out there don't think things through, and you might find yourself right in the middle of it. So be prepared. That being said, thanks again, everybody, for being here. Be safe, and we'll see you on the flip side.
All right, kids. Good night.